Wagwan! Multiplier here, and last in the mini-series on Isotope Trash 2. It's all about the delay module. So we've done so far a bit of filtering, a bit of distortion, a bit more filtering, and some convolution reverb action. All of it quite subtle, but all of it adding up to quite an interesting sound so far. And the delay bit will be the final kind of nice kind of icing on the cake bit for the sound. Now we're skipping past the dynamics module just because it's basically just a standard compressor and a gate. It's a reasonably good one. It's multi-band and all the other cool shit you'd expect from Isotope, so it's got a lot of really good metering. But there's nothing really extra special about it. I can't really talk about compressors because it would take forever, and compressing is quite specific to the task in hand. So I'm going to skip over that, because this particular sound doesn't really need it anyway. Although it arguably needs a little bit of it, but can't be arsed. So skipping past it, I'll do a proper series on compression at some stage. It's just such a big daunting task that I'm putting it off, a bit like mastering, not really doing it properly. Anyway, cool, delay. So the delay is really cool in Isotope Trash. So cool that I sometimes use it by itself. Just like quite a lot of these sections really. You don't have to use them as part of a distortion thing, but they do work quite nicely together. So you got basically normal sort of stuff. Got a few different ways of looking at it. Have all sorts of different slidey dudes that determine kind of which bit of the sound, well, especially determine the filtering of the stuff that's coming back with each delay. We're going to undo that, so history, undo, cool. Let me go back to here, cool. So back to where we were, turn history off. And yeah, so we've got a few different modes. This is the most important bit. So the second most important bit basically determines what processing is happening to each delayed signal. So tape is for like tape distortion, so it adds a bit of nice analogy sort of warmth vibe to it. Tape tube is more like a warmer signal, bit of tube distortion on each delayed bit. Analog again is just similar sort of vibe as tape and tape tube. Lo-fi distortion, bit more kind of edgy, gritty sort of kind of processing on each delay bit. Broken bit and digital, which is kind of digitally kind of a bit more crunchy sort of sounds. Digitally is pretty kind of hi-fi frequency. I'm not a huge fan of it, but yeah, broken bit's pretty cool. It's nice and crunchy. Same with lo-fi digital. So the best thing to do is just to kind of experiment with the different modes. You'll hear the differences between the modes mostly when you crank the trash slider up. So the trash slider is basically how processed the delay signal is. So naturally, the more you process it, the more you hear it. And then the width is a bit of cool stuff, which affects the width of the delayed signal as well. Saying that, you've got all your other important sort of settings, which you can't really overlook, such as the delay time, the time between the signal and the delayed signal. Hit host sync and it will sync it up to the grid, to the tempo of the track. And feedback, normal sort of shit. Cool thing about this is it goes over 100, so you can get some really crazy stuff going on for some experimental, just wild shit. And you've got your dry wet slider as well, which is cool. It's like a dry signal, wet signal kind of vibe, which is awesome. And just like normal, you can use these in a subtle way or really kind of cray advanced outer space, I'm an alien sort of way. So yeah, what we're going to do is probably going to use it quite subtly for this sound, because that's been kind of the theme running through. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's get experimenting. And yeah, it's nice and simple. It's this delay bit, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah, let's do it. love it. That's some super subtle shit right there, but super nice. But yeah, basically, I started off by cranking the settings quite high just to kind of illustrate that there is a difference between the different modes. Then I kind of toned it back. It's also quite a nice way to do things because especially if it's quite subtle in what you're trying to achieve, it can be quite hard to hear the differences between the different modes and the different settings. So it can be useful just to crank it up, get the kind of sound you like, and then tone it back. Also noticed I kind of ended up doing a bit of kind of EQing on the delayed signal, just because I found the kind of the high frequency delays were a little bit distracting. We cut out most of the mids and the highs, pretty much all of them anyway, in the filtering stage and the convolve stage, so it just seemed a bit kind of out of place having a bit of mid frequency action going on. So just left it kind of really low frequency, just kind of blended in with the original sound a bit more. Just kind of gave it a bit of kind of an ambience, a bit of a kind of somewhere to sit, you know. So it didn't sound like something that was just kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. It kind of gave it somewhere to be. So it's cool stuff. Yeah, I really like it. And yeah, that's the delay bit. You can do some really wild stuff. You can do your kind of reggae big dubby delays if you like, or some experimental shit, but sometimes it's nice just to be quite subtle with it. That's been a kind of the running theme. It's worth me saying it over and over again because it's something that I think personally separates kind of average producers from the top producers, is in all the subtleties. It's what makes one of the reasons the best guys are the best guys. Is because they really focus on those subtle details. Listen to like podcasts like the Pensado's Place podcast, where Dave Pensado, which is one of the best mixers in the world, mixes for all the biggest guys in the world, interviews all his other world-class mixer friends. That's basically where you hear about the most advanced mixing tips in the world, literally from literally the best guys in the world. And trust me, they pay attention to little details like that. So you should be doing so too. That sentence was a bit muddled, but whatever. Cool. This has been the mini series. Nice little. It wasn't even. I thought it was a short video. It wasn't a particularly short video, but yeah. Let me know if there are any plugins that you really want me to do tutorials on. Chances are I won't have them, but I might have them or I might buy them. So yeah, cool shit. It's been Isotope Trash 2, pretty much my favorite plugin ever. Yeah, I've been Multiplier. Enjoy making cool shit, and remember, focus on the details. Hone your craft. Oh yes. Totally forgot to actually show you the before and after from like the finished result. Anyway, yeah, here it is. So here's the kind of original sound, the thing we started off with before we did any processing. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of hit the bypass button to turn the bypass off, which will kind of show you the processed kind of final result. So yeah, here it is. Sick. Anyway, this is the actual end. Yes. Pretty professional I am, aren't I?